Story 1. I learned that being genuinely interested in his passions works better than any fancy trick. When my boyfriend mentioned he loved astronomy, I surprised him by learning about constellations. Now we have stargazing dates where I point out Cassiopeia, and his face lights up every time. Story 2. Whatever you do, do not behave like Generation Z by not caring, ghosting, or acting irresponsibly. That kind of behavior is extremely immature. Story 3. Every person is different. Try impressing the individual instead of viewing them as a single monolithic block. Story 4. I bought my husband an original set of roof bars for a 2007 Peugeot 207. That seemed to do the trick. Story 5. Just like what they like. If they like Star Wars, you watch Star Wars with them. If they like painting, you get the art supplies. Simple. A person with an unfathomably large amount of time on their hands. Story 6. I assume it would be the same as impressing a woman. Find out that person's hobbies and interests, and use the ones you share as a starting point for a conversation. Actually getting to know a person and making them feel valued and interesting is a powerful aphrodisiac. Story 7. Be there for him. Be attentive to his individual needs. The only way you will find out what those are is by getting to know him. In the process of getting to know him, you will then find out for yourself whether he is a man you actually want to impress or not. Story 8. Respect yourself. I do not know about other men, but coming on too strong or too fast turns me off, though this might be a personal preference. I do not mean acting coy or subtle. Instead, being direct but modest always impresses me. Story 9. Feats of strength. Pick him up and squeeze him until he begs you to stop. Remove manhole covers and do squats while holding them. Story 10. Honestly, the women I am most impressed with are the ones who are intelligent and funny. If they are not responsive to that, they are not interested. Also, because we are not very perceptive, just ask us out. We will miss all the signals and signs. Story 11. Get soft clay and lower the figure into it using a hoist so that each area of the body is evenly submerged. When the figure is raised back up, leave the clay to air dry before kiln firing it. You will then have successfully made an impression of a person. Story 12. It depends on the person, but usually it is either really good food or researching their interests thoroughly and then guiding them into a conversation about those interests. Story 13. Generally, you gather a press gang, kidnap him near the docks, pay him a shilling to seal the deal, and put him aboard one of His Majesty's warships to serve in the war against the Dutch, French, or Spanish. Story 14. It depends a lot on the man, his tastes, and what he is used to. I studied singing, so I am impressed when a girl has a very pretty voice, and I imagine myself singing some songs that I like. There are also things that can be impressive but negative. For example, when I was a passenger and the girl driving the car drove very quickly over a mound. If it had not been for the seatbelt, I would have hit my head on the roof. In the end, she apologized, so everything was fine. Story 15. A wise person once said, to keep your man happy, keep his stomach full and his mind clear. I am not sure about the first part, but I am definitely sure about the second. Story 16. This thread is an American microcosm. It reflects equal parts misogyny and disregard for men. The language used is offensive. Story 17. I am gay, so I am not sure if this applies to straight men. Usually, just showing you care or giving a random compliment helps. Most men do not get compliments, so that can be helpful. Also, we are often dumb and oblivious most of the time. It might fly over our heads, or we may notice it but not want to seem creepy, so I would say be direct. Other than that, I am not sure. Story 18. Ask questions and find out interests. Compliment positive qualities and actions. Be genuinely interested in them. Story 19. Pay a bill. Offer to split the cost of something occasionally. Do not be a bloodsucker. Show genuine interest. Story 20. I place him between two large plates with an embedded pattern and smash the plates together. This impresses the pattern upon the man. It is a simple manufacturing process. Story 21. Eye contact is powerful. I've been told, wow, I can't stop talking to you. Your eyes have drawn me in, followed by a charming smile. Pretty privilege can have a negative impact. I even had a man tell me how beautiful I was with his wife right behind him. That is where it becomes uncomfortable and awkward. Story 22. A man is generic because a person would require different methods. For me, for example, assuming you are in the early stage of dating, initiating conversation from time to time, returning questions such as, "How was your weekend?" and suggesting a date is important. If you postpone a date, reschedule it and do not wait for the man to suggest another. If you want a generic answer applicable to men, then initiate sex and be enthusiastic during it. Story 23. Just genuinely trying to understand him and actually listening to what he says. It is the bare minimum, though. Also, showing interest in what he loves goes a long way. Story 24. By doing something difficult. It sounds like a joke answer that changes the meaning of your question, but I believe the two meanings are the same. That amount of effort shows a great deal of care for something, and sharing that passion with another person is one of the most intimate things you can do, in my opinion. Story 25. Bring him peace, support, food, and affection. Everything else is icing on the cake. Oh, bring icing too if you like that sort of thing. Story 26. Just be kind, open, and a little vulnerable. At this rate, a pretty young woman who is not closed off and cynical is actually impressive. I was on vacation with my child some weeks ago. It was always very pleasant talking with everyone who was at least 20 years my senior, but the attractive women in my dating range were all aloof and closed off. What is happening? Story 27. By now, I am impressed if someone can take responsibility for any wrongdoing, and if they are gentle and respectful toward others' emotions. I like humbleness, but deep down, it only works if you have done the work with your childhood and family and have worked through that. Story 28. With straightforward conversation. No hinting or hoping, no guiding or games. Just speak plainly and act accordingly. Story 29. Genuinely show genuine interest in what he is interested in. We are not all that complex. We like to be listened to be complimented every now and then, and to feel needed. Story 30. When I brought my dog to our second date, my wife already had a treat for her. That's when I knew she was going to be the one. Story 31. Be good and passionate about something. Competence is key, but for many things, it is not a high bar to the layperson looking in. Story 32. Be genuine most of the time, especially with interests and preferences, and do not force it. My male friends literally told me this is how they ended up with their lifetime partners. Story 33. Be interested in our passions. You do not have to be into them, but just appreciate how much we like them. Subtle compliments about things we would not even think about, not about if we have dressed well or whatever, but that we might seem really confident or something that day. Story 34. Invest in yourself. Find hobbies and activities you enjoy. Learn how to communicate effectively and actively listen. Grow your confidence through trial and error, and understand that you are not perfect. People will naturally be impressed when you can engage in and hold meaningful conversations. Story 35. Be good at and passionate about something. Women have impressed me with their photography, painting, carpentry, gardening, knowledge of architectural history, 14th century iconography, and chainsaw sculptures. Story 36. Proper communication shows that you like them. We can be a bit slow to understand. If we do realize you are flirting, we tend to take it as a compliment and leave it at that, to avoid seeming like a creep when we respond to the flirting. Story 37. When presenting a problem, follow up with thoughts on different solutions and listen to his opinion. That would impress me at least. Story 38. For me, there are two things. First, no nagging. No man wants constant requests or reminders to do tasks when he is in the middle of eating or relaxing. Second, as mentioned, genuine interest in what he loves to do. It does not matter what it is. I do not expect you to love high fantasy, science fiction, or video games as much as I do, but just asking how it is going and listening to a few stories means a lot. Story 39. Show that you want to care for him. I just went on a week's vacation with a woman. We stayed together. Every morning we would sit and chat, and she would get up, make herself a cup of hotel coffee, sit down with it, and never once asked me if I would like a cup. It's a small thing, a gesture. But if she had once asked me if I'd like a coffee or a bottle of water on my trip, or if I was feeling tired or hungry, I wouldn't have ended things 3 days ago. Every time I made a cup, I would make her one too, as I normally would with a friend. I saw nothing but selfishness, no kindness or respect toward me at all, and a serious lack of social graces. Women are said to be looking for a father figure, and men would like to see a little of that caring, nurturing spirit women are supposedly famous for. Me? I couldn't even get a simple cup of coffee. Story 40. For me personally, being interested or being nice or thoughtful and doing things for me does not matter. It only matters in the sense that it will make me wish I could be interested in you and hopefully someday fall in love. I will think you are sweet, root for you, and want what is best for you. But ultimately, it is out of my hands whether or not I am interested in you. There is a big chance that you are only wasting your time. I might be physically attracted to you and enjoy getting close and trying to develop feelings. But the truth is, it is not going to happen. If there is only physical attraction and you are interested in nice, it is not going to work out long term. I think you are boring, not interesting. For me to fall in love, it almost completely comes down to your personality. Specifically for me, there are pretty much only 3 things that matter: how funny you are, how fun you are, and how sensitive you are. This can really be summed up into one thing: how fun you are. Because when you are funny or silly, you are fun to be around. And when you are sensitive, you are fun to be around. By sensitive, I mean that things impact you and make you feel. You react, you show your emotions. Something will easily make you cry, complain, or be difficult. In other words, you are a bit of a drama queen. The funny thing is that most women try so hard to hide that part of themselves because they think if they are difficult then I will run. I love it, though. Drama is fun. It is interesting. That is why when you turn the TV on there is so much of it. We are drawn to it. If I am going to miss being around you, if I am going to want to spend every day of my life with you, then what matters is who you are, your energy. The way I feel when I am around you because of who you are and your energy. So if you only focus on having fun, doing what makes you happy, and authentically expressing when you are happy, disappointed, or sad, then I will be hooked on being around you and I will fall in love. If you love dogs and they make you happy, then when you and I are together and you see someone with a dog, go to them and ask if you can pet their dog. Hang out with their dog for a while because you are following your emotions and doing what brings you happiness. Have fun playing with the dog. Someone having fun like that is interesting to me. That will make me like you. If instead you keep spending time with me because you are trying to be respectful to me, then you are a thoughtful person but you are boring and I will not really like you. The dog is just one example. If we are out somewhere and there are kids there being loud and annoying you, complain about it or just leave. If you stay because you think I want to be there, I will not really like you. If you complain about it and ask me if it is okay if we leave, that is better. If you complain and leave without asking me, that is even better because you are not having fun there and you are putting your own fun and happiness above everything. That is what I love most. For someone to have fun and do what makes them happy, that is the person I want to spend my life with. Story 41. Remember the small details he mentions in passing. When he casually said he collected Pocket Monsters cards as a kid, I tracked down his favorite card from childhood. 6 months later, I gave it to him on his birthday. Story 42. Integrity and accountability go a long way and will be noticed. Staying true to one's principles and not constantly lying about things I was present for or deconstructing reality means problems can actually be solved instead of just created, which would be very nice. Story 43. You don't need to do much. Show interest in his hobbies and it's a done deal. I often work with men having emotional and communication issues. The way they light up when they tell me they went fishing for the first time with their new girlfriend, and she actually wanted to be there, asked questions, and seemed interested is remarkable. It's like a kid in a candy shop. These are rough tradesmen whose general depth of emotion is anger or making fun of their friends. Story 44. Find a nice stick, ideally one that looks like a sword or wizard staff, and gift it to him. If he does not like the stick, you must venture far and wide in search of one that is worthy of his love. Once you have done that, you should be golden, and true love will finally be found. Good luck. Story 45. There are many couples who genuinely struggle to find common interests beyond having movie nights together and maybe listening to the same music. However, if you engage in his favorite sports and his preferred video games, you are ahead of most couples, especially if they are games he truly loves rather than just trying to find common ground with others. Many responses given are generic and unhelpful. Most comments do not provide useful advice. Story 46. If he is not impressed already, he is not the right person for you. There are many people to meet out there. Story 47. Be emotionally stable, laugh at his jokes, randomly bring him food, and touch his thigh while driving. Boom. He is yours. Story 48. If you watch a movie together or do anything together, pay attention and do not stare at your phone every chance you get. This is general advice for everyone. It is very annoying to go out of your way to spend time with someone and then watch them pick up and stare at the phone they already have with them all the time. If I cannot get you to pay attention during the enjoyable moments, I will not expect you to pay attention to the important moments. Story 49. Randomly bring him a nice homemade sandwich. Say, "I made this for you." Kiss his cheek and walk away. That would melt me. Story 50. So individually, it's hard to say. I think something that is usually a positive thing is independence, and that it seems you know what you want and have your life in order. Enough people, both men and women, have experience with partners who did not do much about anything. It tends to stick in one's mind because of the imbalance that falls on the other person. So it stays much longer than other things after they are the ex. Story 51. Guys, be careful. People may notice what you enjoy and launch a thorough investigation. They will make a great effort to learn the intricacies of your hobby, including terminology, just to deceive you. These individuals are extremely cautious and attentive, often making it difficult to realize they are manipulating you. Years may pass and one day they might say, "I hate sailing and flying, but I only did it because you liked it." Watch out, they are out there. Story 52. I do not think there is a single way to impress a man. We are not all alike. People are different. Story 53. The right man does not need to be impressed. The one you have to put so much effort into is not worth it. Story 54. Be direct and show genuine interest in his hobbies, no matter how uninteresting you think they are. That is all. Story 55. Literally just show interest in him, his hobbies, whatever. Just show him that you actually care. Story 56. Show interest in us and our interests instead of dismissing them. Be okay with us spending time with our friends sometimes. That is pretty much it. Story 57. The best thing to do is give the man a sincere, heartfelt compliment. He will remember it 20 years later. Story 58. Give genuine compliments. Positive feedback often does wonders for our mood and for our opinions of those who give them. Story 59. I admit I haven't read the responses yet, but I will. This is the first thing that came to mind when I read your post. I don't dislike men. Have I been hurt? Yes, but every gender has, and that's just part of getting to know each other. I'm 57 and have been dating since I was 13. I was married for 18 years and then divorced. I had a couple of very nice relationships after the divorce. There is a book I have seen but have not read called Why Men Love Strong Women. If I had known this, I probably wouldn't have understood it because it is absolutely not in my nature. But I see the women my ex-husband has dated. When I say this, please know I am not weak when it comes to a man. I'm not wimpy. Why do you have to impress him? He should try to impress you. Many men and women enjoy the chase. I don't mean this in any negative way. I wish you all happiness. I just feel that sometimes women and men don't realize their worth. Please don't take this the wrong way. Story 60. The same way you impress anyone is by being good at things. If this person is worth anything, they will be impressed if you are a great teacher, knitter, or gardener. Even if they have no interest in these things, they should recognize skill. Story 61. Show interest in their hobbies. It is better if it is completely genuine. If not, at least try to act like you like it. Give it a chance, even if it is not usually your thing. Have a good sense of humor and be funny. Story 62. Being genuinely interested in his hobbies and well-being with my boyfriend. He loves when I talk about something, for example, if drama happened at work. I always say sorry for talking too much and say I will stop, but he always tells me not to be sorry and to talk freely because he enjoys listening. I still say sorry out of habit, and it is worse when I am tipsy or drunk, but he loves listening to stories. Just be yourself and care about him. Story 63. Do something that shows you put effort into learning and involving yourself with something he cares about so that you know more details than he would. I think that is a cool idea. Story 64. I am impressed by women who are capable, passionate, and excited. Women who can hold their own and excel at something they love to do. Women who are genuinely happy and enthusiastic about life. Story 65. Show some initiative of your own, rather than always relying on him to plan every date and initiate every intimate act. Story 66. Be kind. Not just to him, but let him see that you are a kind and thoughtful person. I cannot tell you how many times attractive women become unpleasant quickly by being inconsiderate. There are many unpleasant personalities out there, and to be honest, seeing someone who is genuinely kind is rare these days. Story 67. This answer is geared towards a female in a relationship. Be direct when showing that you like him, show interest in his interests, support him, promote peace, be decisive sometimes, so he can learn your preferences, genuinely care about his feelings, and occasionally feed his ego. Why would this work? Men have a couple of ride-or-die friends, and this is how they achieve that forever friend status. Good men give everything they can in the courting stage, showing interest in hers, bringing joy, taking her on adventures, showing how he cares for her, and complimenting her. Men have to balance this because too little makes you appear cold, but too much makes you a pushover. Women receive everything to see if he's worthy. Meanwhile, many times men are hoping and wondering if their actions are paying off. If the stage of marriage is reached, men begin to match her energy and effort. Then the woman feels disconnected and begins to look for the feeling of being desired. Men get fatigued. When the woman shows she likes him, shows interest in his interests, promotes peace, is decisive sometimes so he can learn her preferences, genuinely cares about his feelings, and occasionally feeds his ego, he will naturally pursue his woman with all that he has. Story 68. By loving him sincerely. Men are very simple animals. You give us love, and we will be so impressed that we will be forever grateful. Story 69. By being yourself. Either he is going to be impressed by or interested in you, or he is not. Do not make up lies about yourself or be someone you are not just to try to impress a guy. There is someone out there who will like you the way you already are. Story 70. Have confidence and do not act like someone you are not. Be genuine. You do not have to reveal everything, but honesty is important. Story 71. My sister was dating a guy she was crazy about. He moved to a new apartment, and the girl next door crocheted him a blanket. He married that girl. I would say learn how to crochet. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.